Okay, hello everybody. A really warm welcome to this video, which is part of a series of the Abirat Trust, exploring care in the order, talking to order members about care in the order to hopefully promote a more dialogue in the order about this very important topic. And today I'll be talking with Dhammadinna, who's in the picture there, but first, hello Dhammadinna. First of all, I just want to say a bit of introduction now. The issue of care in the order is becoming more pressing as the order ages, and the order does have an aging demographic. So I wanted to substantiate this with some data analysis, which Lokabandhu has done. So this picture shows the age demographic of the order outside India. Along the x-axis we've got year, and along the y-axis we've got number, and the coloured bars represent specific age groups. So 20s, less than 20s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s plus. So on this is 2022 now, and you can see that majority of order members outside India are in the 50s to 60s age bracket here, and then there's quite a few in the 70s and so on. And Lokabandhu has done predictions here, but I'm not going to go into those, but just to say that of course the number of people in there aging will increase with the years. So that's a graphic demonstration of the aging demographic of the order. So now, of course, we may need care at any age, but the fact is that the probability of us needing care increases with age, largely down due to health issues. And the Abirat Trust has been working on a project which we've called the Local Care Network Project, to help local Sanghas start thinking and talking about how we can look after each other in our local Sanghas, to get better organised, to become more aware of care issues in local Sanghas, to think about how people can participate in care in local Sanghas, because ideally care will be part of the natural fabric of any local Sangha. Now, more information about local care networks can be found on the Abirat Trust website, but I want to return to Dhammadinna now. who's been waiting very patient there. I just like to thank you, Dhammadinna, for doing this. It's been a delight to get to know you a bit better. Of course, I've known about you, and we've had a bit of fun, haven't we, getting to know each other a bit better. And I don't know you very well, but I am aware of all you've given to the movement and the order over the many years of a very committed Dharma life. For example, you're founder member of Tiratnaloka. You've been a public preceptor for many years, and you've probably given hundreds of talks. I must say, many of which I've listened to, and you do give a very good talk. So welcome, Dhammadinna. I'm really delighted to have you here. So we're going to talk about care in the order. So why, I know this is a really obvious question, Dhammadinna, but why do you think care is important in the order?
Well, it's interesting looking at that demographic. I mean, in a way, it's kind of obvious, isn't it, that if you go to an order event, you can see we're white-haired or grey-haired.
Yeah.
But I think it's maybe not always so obvious. Like, I live around a large urban centre, the London Buddhist Centre, and the demographic there of people coming along is very young. So I can get a false sense of everybody's young, they'll all be there to look after me when I'm older. But then you go to an order event and you can see that, I've chosen those bars that we're getting older. And like you say, you might need care at any age, but you're obviously going to need more care as you get older. And it's part of our values, isn't it? Our set of
mm,
values: care for each other, to have
mm,
love, compassion for each other.
mm,
It's very important that we really do something for people when they're unwell and vulnerable. When people are vulnerable, which could be mental health or old age
mm,
or at any age, it's very hard to look after yourself and get the resources that you need. So if there's something a bit more kind of organised, I think
mm,
that would be helpful for
mm,
people
mm, mm, mm.
included.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so too. I think
Yeah,
so too. I think we have an existing system, don't we, which is largely based on Kalyana Mitra. If you see
yeah,
somebody um, in need, you respond, and of course that's great. That's really really good. But I think um, given the aging demographic of the order, the numbers of people requiring care
yeah.
will increase. I'm not sure that our current system of KM or preceptor relationships would suffice. And also, there's all this untapped knowledge, I think, in local sanghas.
Yeah. I think the network of Kalyan Mitritar is great, and I've seen
Mm,
that
mm,
happen around here with people like
mm,
Vijay Tara, Vidya Jyoti,
mm,
Chitta, Shraddha Pushpa,
mm,
local people who, their group of friends really
mm,
responded.
mm,
But I think, in a way, one of the ways we talk about our institutions,
mm,
like the Mitra system and so on, is
mm,
it's a channel for Kalyan and Mitritar, isn't it?
mm.
And
Yeah.
it was that feeling which is there and that desire to help which is there to be more effective.
Mm,
So I think both, like
mm,
obviously heart response is good, but if those people who want to respond have got resources,
mm,
practical and
mm,
emotional, then
mm.
it's going to be more effective, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And as I say, I think one benefit of local care networks at centres, which we've been instigating in the Environment Trust, is that you find out what kind of expertise and skills people have in the Sangha, which were previously unknown, perhaps. So there might be, people, for example, with expertise in mental health nursing who would be prepared to contribute more explicitly to a local care network, or there might be people with DIY skills who would be happy to modify somebody's house without extortionate costs and so on.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
like you say, it's kind of uncovering
Yes.
that which is already there, as well as adding to what is already there, which is the flow
Friendship.
of KM. Yeah, friendship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, what do you think there are? What do you think? What challenges do you think there are to care in the order?
Well, I think we've not been great at setting up
Mm,
like things that you might, maybe other Buddhist movements have done this. I don't
mm,
know.
mm.
Camps somewhere where you can, as an older Buddhist, you're not watching Crossroads or whatever it is on the telly. A bit old, isn't it? EastEnders. Do you know what I mean? You know what a
Yeah, yeah. I don't
care home can be like if you visited
know.
people in care home.
Yes.
So I guess assisted living and all
Mm,
that kind of it might be necessary.
mm,
We haven't got that together yet.
mm, mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think because it requires a lot of commitment
Mm,
and commitment to set up that sort of. It's the
mm,
same with schools, isn't it?
mm, mm, mm.
So I think that's a challenge, isn't it, to find ways of creating those sort of resources that are a bit
Yeah.
more than of
Yeah.
that people might need.
Yes. Yes. And I think again one of the benefits of a local care network is if people are more aware of people's needs, then we could be more proactive to looking after people, so they don't end up so far down the line that they do need hospitalisation or in a care home.
Yeah.
We kind of prevent that through early intervention and support.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just reflecting about the benefits, the spiritual practice benefits of participating in care in a local sangha. I mean, the obvious one is metta in action.
Yes. Yes. And I think also a kind of mingling of ages.
Mm, mm,
I know this happened with Shraddha Pushpa, who lived close, who was mentally very, very well and
mm,
very active.
mm,
He needed help, and that she had helped them a lot of young women around the centre, you know, so she got to spend time with them, which is always great to spend time with younger people, I think.
Mm, mm,
They got, you know, they got access to her kind of spiritual depth and practice. So I think that's
mm,
another benefit, isn't it, of
mm.
caring.
Yes, yeah. And also the four sights, it's something which we often hear taught throughout our Buddhist
Yeah,
life,
yeah,
but actually just really confronting those in the flesh kind of thing and
yeah.
seeing them.
Yeah, we
And
don't believe we're going to get old when we're
no,
young,
no,
and then we
no,
do.
yeah. But I also think that that's a really good point you made about the mixing of different ages.
Mm.
Because another thing which we're looking at in the Abhayrat Trust is how can you kind of capture the energy of youth and the experience and hopefully wisdom of age and bring those two together to produce something greater than the sum of the parts.
Yeah.
Mm,
I mean, I live in a I live in a community which has got a really broad age range. I live with
mm,
the women,
mm,
and at the moment, I think the youngest is 30, but we have had people in their early 20s, and I'm the oldest. So it's,
mm,
you know, huge
mm,
age, people in their
mm,
30s, 40s.
mm,
And I really enjoy that we're not kind of ghettoized,
mm.
the old, shoved
Yeah,
away, the
yeah,
young. They do what they, you know, they go out and party and do whatever they want to do. I
yeah.
don't, but, you know, we share a lot.
Mm,
Uh, it,
mm,
it, it's great. It's good. It's good if you know, you don't get stuck in your ways if you live with
mm,
younger people
mm, mm,
and they have access to, you know, a lot of life experience and
mm,
practice
mm,
experience.
mm,
So that's just in an ordinary community, but you know that could also come into being in
mm,
a caring situation.
mm. Yes, yes, and just on this area of local is best. So the Abhayrat Trust is trying to help local
Yeah.
sangha set up local kind of frameworks of care. Do you think local is best?
I think in some ways because presumably you know what's going
Mm,
on with your
mm,
fellow order members. Most people will be in a chapter
mm,
or you know have friends or so there'll be a kind of network of looking out for people and making
mm,
sure they're all right and nobody gets isolated and falls off the whatever.
mm. Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and but I think maybe we talked before, didn't we, about some of the resources you offer.
Mm,
I think it also needs to be backed up with expertise, I guess, you know, the things,
mm.
knowledge about benefits and
Yes,
there's those sort of things that
yes,
probably more would come more from you, the Biorat
yes,
Trust, who train people. So I think
yeah,
it's a mix of both, isn't it? I think on the
yeah,
ground is really important in terms of emotional connection and really seeing what needs
yeah.
to.
Yeah, because we did speak about that the resource which the Age UK have given us
Yeah,
access to, which allows people to conduct a very thorough, holistic assessment of somebody's needs, and that is a tool which could be used in local care networks if required, and we can certainly train people up to use that system.
I
And
think
that's sorry.
the thing is also good, isn't it? Because I guess the caring is shared
Mm,
amongst people who know each other, amongst a team or a group of friends or people who really want to do that sort of thing. So it's a
mm,
kind of collective practice as well
mm,
as not
mm.
all landing on one person,
Yeah, yeah,
shared amongst the local community.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And that's, you know, my experience of doing that with other people for someone who needed care.
Mm.
It's a very strong practice and it's a very
Yeah,
connected practice.
yeah, yes, it is. But it can also be a very difficult practice as well, and that's where the Biorat Trust and the resources which we're trying to build up at present to help local care networks will really help take out sometimes the frustration of dealing with local authorities or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
which can be extremely time consuming.
Yeah,
Um, and you know there is a genuine conflict of time sometimes, isn't there? If somebody wants to really put themselves into the center and teaching and so on,
yeah.
and then on the one hand, and then there's care on the other. So let's make it as efficient as possible.
Yeah, and you can't do everything. You
No,
know,
you can't. You can't. You know that's a really good point. Yeah, you can't do everything.
Some people will be more, involved in running the centre, and other
Mm.
people do other things.
Yes, yes, and they're both valid. They're
Yeah.
both equally valid. So caring for somebody can be obviously a spiritual practice just as powerful as teaching at a centre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's something again which we probably need to consider in the order that do we give equal weight to different expressions of our spiritual life, or do we weight it towards, for example, working at a centre, which not everybody can do, or teaching at a centre?
I guess some people probably do a bit of both, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I suppose a lot of people in their 50s, 60s are probably caring for aging parents.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
as well as having a job and kids and maybe
yeah,
teaching as well. So
yeah,
people do a lot of different things. But
yeah.
if it's like concentrated caring for somebody, maybe it's for just a period at the end of their life, that takes a lot of time.
And you see, it occurs to me that a local Sangha, if they're aware of that person having to give so much of their time and energy to care for someone, they could actually support that person. So a local care network isn't just about supporting people who need care. It's also about supporting those who are giving care. Yeah. So it all works together. It can work together very, 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 very well indeed.
I guess you need a few people on the ground here, like say at this centre. I don't know if anyone is involved in the project here yet.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's 2 people possibly at the London Buddhist Centre.
So then you need 2 or 3 people to kind of get it rolling.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. So local care networks, where they have been developed at centres, it's a group of 3 or 4 order members who have got together, and they kind of oversee the a local care network. Where they start communicating with the local Sangha. They start asking what skills are out there, what experience, and then if you can put that into a spreadsheet, for example, then what's available in the Sangha can be seen at a glance. And for example, the 3 to 4 this core group of order members might make contact with chapter conveners and say, can you keep an eye out for people in your chapter, and so on. And as local care networks grow, we can start building a national, international network of local care networks, which then share information. And the idea is that over time we hold an annual retreat, say at Adhisthana, for those involved.
Great. I guess are you talking mainly about UK, because different countries are going to have different?
Yes.
Are you trying to roll it out other countries as well?
Well, be other countries as well. So we are starting to do that. Yeah. Different countries, obviously. Well, even different counties in the UK have different things. So it's one size will not fit all. But there are principles which I think can apply. It's just local Sanghas care networks would modify that according to their needs, whether in Mexico, Australia, Poland, or Kent in the UK.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything else? Any final concluding comments?
Well, I think it's a great project.
Thank you.
I heard about it, I think, some time ago. I think when we were talking before, saying it kind of arose before the pandemic. And then in terms of kind of actualizing it, obviously, like people were just, hiding away, weren't we? We were hiding away.
Yeah.
But no, it seems like it's your kind of pursuing, really going to pursue it. Really support it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's
I'm an older member. I look for head for.
We'll look after you, Dhammadinna.
I hope so. No, it's a great initiative, and I hope to see. I mean, I'd be happy to talk to people around here. I'm not sure how active I can be, but I'd be happy to be part of a conversation around here to get something going.
Right.
I know everybody around here. So.
Yeah, well, that's how local care networks start. They start with somebody having conversation with their local order. That'd be great.
Yeah, and one of my chapter members is a local order convener, so station we can have a fee or something. So
yeah, great.
Yeah, it's a really, really good initiative, and thanks for asking me, inviting me to talk.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Dhammadinna. It's been a delight. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Bye, bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.